Thinking about buying a franchise? Don't go it alone. Just like a buyer's agent in real estate, you deserve someone who's on your side every step of the way. That's where Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, comes in. Todd's consulting services are completely free to anyone looking to buy a franchise. He'll represent your interest, make sure all your questions are answered, and walk you through the entire buying process. With Todd in your corner, you'll have the best chance for success from your first call to the day you hold the keys to your new business. So before you buy a franchise, talk to someone who knows the industry inside and out and works for you. Call Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, today at 423-381-0925 for a free, no-pressure consultation. That's 423-381-0925. Your future in franchising starts here.
Welcome to the Franchise Flashlight podcast series. My name is Todd Abraham, and today we are going to be talking about a unique and a thriving upcoming industry all about mailboxes. But this young man that we are interviewing today, him and his dad, who founded the company, Roland Kelly, have put a new spin on it, which I myself had never heard of until I talked to Roland the other day by phone and looked at the website, because we all know about the UPS store. We know about all these smaller private branded what I call mailbox stores. You can go in and ship with any carrier and you get a mailbox like the post office gives. But Mailbox Cafe has put a whole new twist on this thing, and I absolutely love it. And especially since I'm a coffee drinker. In fact, I've got a little placard in my house here that says my blood type is coffee. So uh, let's go ahead and introduce our special guest, Mr. Khalif Kelly. And Khalif, I'm going to let you spell your name because I had never heard your name until your dad told me what it was.
Yes, sir. So my name is Khalif Kelly. The spelling is Khalief, as in Frank.
And what is the origin of that name? How did your dad and mom come about that?
The origin of my name is Arabic. Both my parents are practice beliefs of Islam. Me and my son, we all grew up in Islamic belief. So all our first and middle names are all of Arabic origin.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's neat. All right, so what are your two siblings' names since we're talking about first names?
Yes, sir. My eldest brother is Akil, and my sister is Jamila.
Nice, nice. And I was talking to Khalif before we went on live recording here, and he was telling me about how his sister is in her final stages of residency to become a neurosurgeon, and his brother, who his two siblings are older than he is, but his brother is a lead marketing executive for Warner Brothers, which I thought was really cool, especially since I'm a movie buff. So, so
We're
we're
basically a
talking.
movie
Yeah,
family.
yeah. We're talking about Mailbox Cafe and their flagship stores in Savannah, Georgia, which Khalif, I told your dad. So I went to 4 years of high school in the Screven County, Statesboro, Georgia area. In
Yeah.
fact, I celebrated my 16th birthday in Savannah, but I
Hmm.
went to my freshman year at Screven County High, and then we moved to Statesboro. I went to my sophomore year at Bullock Academy, and then I got held back my junior year. So I did both my junior years at Statesboro High before I had moved out of the area. So, and I just went back down there about 3 to 4 months ago, and it was a very nostalgic trip. But like I told your dad, the nostalgia ended quickly when those gnats started chasing me down the sidewalk. I was like, oh my God, I forget these things are awful. I forgot how bad they were.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so the website you
Mhm.
want to check out the website if you're listening to the podcast is mailbox-cafe.com, and
Mhm.
the franchise information website is mailboxcafefranchise.com. and
Hmm.
there's no dash in the franchise information website link. But I will say this, that they've got some really cool videos on the franchise information website, which shows all the various facets of this diamond that we call the Mailbox Cafe. So, Khalif, give us a bit of a history, of background of how your dad founded the business and what inspired y'all to become a franchise.
All right, so my I guess you could say if you want true like the history of how it really came about is like my grandfather started his own business in a appliance repair shop back in the late 60s, where he just rented out a portion of this building. Um, and over time he bought each portion of the building where now it's owned by our entire family. And then so my grandfather's children, I think my dad and his two brothers, one's deceased now, and then his youngest sister. The three brothers kind of worked in the same realm within the repair side. But as time went on, my dad did a lot of corporate work in his time. And, one thing he always struggled with, like he's a coffee drinker as well. And, um, and he also had to do a lot of shipping, like going to the post office just to mail things out and whatnot. And sometimes he said he would have always have to debate which line he wanted to go stand into first, the line at the
Right.
post office or the line at Starbucks or every
Yeah,
coffee
yeah,
shop he wanted to go to. He
that's
always thought
great.
that he always thought that it would be a good idea. It's like it would be such a nice idea if you were able to get a cup of coffee while you're waiting to like ship something or just send off
Yeah,
a basic letter. And so he had the idea, a Mailbox Cafe. He brought it about. Me being the youngest, I never had like a specific thing I wanted to do, unlike my
right,
siblings. So when he started this, I started working here. We opened up in the fall of 2014 in October. The last 2 weeks of October, we opened up in 2014. And so I started working here just to earn some more money.
right.
Um, since I was like again going to a junior in high school. So I started working here on Saturdays like in 2015. And then
So
over time,
that would make you, let's see, about close to 30, right?
yes, I am 27. I'll be 28 this year.
Yeah, very cool.
Mhm.
So how do you love the business? I mean, you kind of, grew up in it in a sense, but
Mhm.
it seems like a pretty I wouldn't say low stress, but definitely not high stress. But it seems like it'd be a rewarding business to work in.
Yes. I say my favorite thing about when it comes to running this business is being able to assist my community in the way I have been able to over the years, especially as we've grown. Because, one thing I feel like anyone who may be listening to this podcast or anyone who I've dealt with, they always complain about UPS, FedEx, the post office, even with our store, even though we may do shipping and coffee, but we also have a full-fledged print shop in here as well. So people complain about Staples, Office Max trying to get things done. And here at the store, we've been able to cultivate just that one-stop shop for our city and just making the transition so much easier. So instead of you having to go to, oh, I got a package I get shipped through FedEx. Let me go to FedEx. And I got to take
Right.
something to the post office. Let me go to the post office. We're able to take,
Yeah.
people's like three, 2 to 3, 4 stops, just to do one thing. And you can all come here as just one simple spot. And then, people's like, oh, wait, you got coffee? Let me get a smoothie. Let me,
Yeah. Yeah.
can I get a croissant or a muffin? Or it's like, y'all cut keys too? It's like, it's like, it's like,
Yeah.
yes. The amount of times people who've been coming to us for years. It's like, when did y'all start cutting keys? Since the beginning. It's like, you a lie. And it's like, if it was snake, it would bit you, right?
That's
Uh,
awesome. That's awesome.
so
Yeah.
it's just
Well, it's
go
definitely
ahead.
got a lot of revenue streams in under one roof. When I love that.
Mhm.
Now, real quickly, just tell us. We know you serve coffee, but tell us about the different types of drinks and the types of food that you serve.
Okay, yes, sir. So, like we have a full-fledged coffee bar, so we can do your basic drip, Americanos, cappuccinos. I can do macchiato lattes. I do know the traditional ways of making these actual drinks instead of just what people may get from Starbucks. We do smoothies. All our smoothies just completely frozen fruit, no additives. I just use frozen fruit, lemonade base, and then usually either a mango or a passion fruit nectar. So I try to one thing about us, I try to keep we just like to try to keep things as natural as we can,
Sure.
not add anything extra. Um, Also, we do make a nice good lemonade drinks. Let's see, food wise, we would normally do a basic like muffins, croissants, bagels, and sometimes we will also, when the students are in town, we will cater from one of our local bakeries here in Savannah called Auspicious. And they give us a little more wide variety of different things like a smoked salmon croissant that we normally carry on tab, and
Right.
then like a trail croissant, and then I'll try to grab one of their monthly specials.
So the food that you serve, is it stuff that you make in the house or is it stuff that just you bring in?
It's stuff we bring in. We just pre-made. It's already pre-made.
That's
Mhm.
good though. From a franchisee standpoint, that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to say, if you're listening to this podcast, obviously this is pre-recorded if you're listening to it, but you'll hear a few noises in the background. That's because Khalif is actually at the store. They close at 6. And there's still some employees in the background who are finishing up projects from today's work. So if you
Yes,
wonder
yes,
what those stray voices are, that's who it is. Um,
yes.
Now, one of the things that I talked to your dad about, and again, Roland Kelly is the founder's name. Had a
One
great conversation.
one second, Todd. It's
Sure.
actually not Roland. It's Sheldon.
Sheldon, I'm sorry. Why don't
You're
Roland
okay.
on the brain? My bad.
You're okay.
Sheldon Kelly.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, one of the things that I loved talking with him about was the actual mailbox revenue because
Mhm.
they have roughly 200 mailboxes. I'm talking about physical mailboxes in the store, but they have a total of 700 mailboxes, 500 of those being virtual. Now,
Mhm.
let's talk income because they price them differently, just like any normal business. You buy the month, by the quarter, by the 6 month, by the annual. But when you break it all down, you're looking at a base rate of roughly about $15 a month. Times 700, and their mailboxes stay full. And so if you're listening to this from a franchisee standpoint, you're thinking about owning a business, that is such an amazing foundation of income that everything else thrives off of. And I love that. Now, Khalif, do those numbers sound about right?
Yes, sir. Normally we've been struggling to have availability. Sometimes for our mailboxes, we do have a lot of people coming in and out. Um, Especially for the ones we have in-house. We have partnered with third-party mail services like iPostal One, Anytime Mail, for example, which kind of gives us the availability for people to come in and go as they please. But no, honestly, for what you told about my dad probably told you, we currently have because we have about 200 and we physically in our store we have about two nope 332 physical mailboxes,
Wow,
and
that's even
I'll
better.
say that's where we own ourselves.
Right, right.
And then with our third party companies, we have extra, that's 254. We have another 275. So
Wow.
overall, we're crushing about the numbers, about 600 active mailbox users.
That's great. Could you do more if you had took on more virtual mailboxes or?
Yes, sir. We could definitely do more. And we have more people willing to want to come in. Currently, I say the issue is just kind of running into the space because we've been growing so much, and a lot of people enjoy the service of because here in Savannah, we do deal with a lot of like porch pirates, people just taking packages off your porches and
Yeah,
everything. So we
yeah,
have a lot of people who utilize us as just a safe hub for their packages to come. We'll shoot them notifications anytime they have mail or a package, so they don't have to make any unwanted trips up here. We'll let them know when they actually have something.
that's
So
awesome. Well, Let me just say, speaking of horsepower, I
Hmm.
absolutely love those videos where they catch them on like the Ring camera and they'll grab the
Hmm.
box and they take off, they get in the car and the thing just blows up like an ink bomb, man.
Yes,
God, I love
yes,
those. I never get tired of watching those.
I
It's so
agree.
funny. So now, and the reason I wanted to stress that because if you're somebody who is looking to possibly buy a franchise with them, again, this is a thriving industry where there's so much room for growth. And I'll give you an example. So I live in Athens, Tennessee, which is dead center between Knoxville and Chattanooga, and we are still considered a small town, but it's a very brisk thoroughfare type of a small town. We have one private labeled mailbox store, which does similar things to what Mailbox Cafe does, except for they don't have a cafe. They don't serve coffee. They don't serve bagels and croissants and different things. And their store is more geared for like a retail shop, whereas the Mailbox Cafe is more geared for all the services that businesses and individuals require, like the printing and y'all do large scale printing too, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, for you to see, Todd, I know they won't be able to see it, but I got my wide format right behind me.
Yeah, I mean that's a massive printer, and you got a huge banner up there that says Mailbox Cafe, and I'm certain
Yes,
you
sir.
printed that banner on that printer, right?
Not that one.
Not
Sadly,
that.
I'm not gonna take credit for that one. But I'm not gonna take credit for that one. But everything else on the wall underneath, we all have done here.
That's great. That's great. And the reason I say that is because we had a Staples here. They're no longer
Hmm.
here. So we don't have a true print copy place like
Hmm.
that. And then one more question that for those that don't know, your mailboxes, they are listed for people sending mail to them like a street address, correct?
Exactly. So you get the physical address and a box number, so you won't have to worry about that PO, the
Right.
post office section. So you were able to receive packages from all of your major carriers. So your, of course, your FedEx, UPS, Post Office, DHL, and we also have been seeing like another stream of third party delivers. So like Walmart, Sam's,
Amazon.
and Amazon. We have
Yeah.
another one for like Uni, and GoFo. If they're slowly popping up around, people who are like the more predominant areas will probably know about them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
Hmm.
we've got the cafe, we've got the very strong anchor income from the mailboxes. You've
Hmm.
got all of the printing services, like you said, the key cutting. Um, what am I leaving out? What am I forgetting?
We also are we're also notaries. I
Notaries.
encourage, yes, sir. We also encourage. I just actually renewed my notary today.
That's
So
cool.
this next section is going to be 12 years going on for me being a notary.
Do you
Uh,
also juggle flaming swords?
uh, I'm a certified scuba diver.
I'll tell you what, Khalif, if you'd have stood up and started juggling some flaming swords, I'd have been like, man, we got to stop the podcast. I'm too in all to talk right now. So anyway, we're just having
Mhm.
fun. But we're talking to Khalif Kelly from Mailbox Cafe. The website, their primary website is mailbox-cafe.com. The
Mhm.
franchise information website, mailboxcafefranchise.com. And there's every bit of information that you need to know from a preemptive standpoint on the franchise information website. And you also can download a brochure there about the franchise. You can also get an idea of what the costs are. And I'll give you an example here of what, and this is a very affordable for a retail type franchise business because the franchise fee is 35,000. That's the average franchise fee across any sector.
Mhm.
The minimal initial investment, including the franchise fee and training, is going to be just under 160, and then the royalty fee is 6%. So their numbers are really, really good.
Mhm.
And they've been doing this for 14 years now, so they've got this down to a science. And like I was saying, there's so much room for opportunity here because they are just now beginning their expansion through franchising, as opposed to like your dad had told me. He said
Hmm.
the reason he wanted to go the franchise route is because he was looking at opening a second location, but he didn't
Yes.
want to have all the expense and the management responsibility of a second location. So God
Mhm.
bless him for doing that for sure.
Yes, it is. It can, with us running like three, which can technically be three separate sectors that can technically stand alone. It can get a little tough, juggling it all at the same time. So trying to, like, I already have about 4 to 5 people on staff, and it keeps us busy all day, every day.
Right.
So of course, establishing another location and trying to staff that second location, it can be a handful. Um,
Well, I mean, Cleveland, Tennessee is just 20 minutes south of me, and that's a town of their official population is like 70,000, but it's a
mhm,
much bigger area. But the only store like this that I'm aware of there is the UPS store, and they're
mhm,
always humming. And I don't think they have as many mailboxes as y'all do.
mm-mm.
And I know they don't serve coffee there.
Definitely not. And I
And
know they don't have such a wide variety of printing like the
right.
FedEx offices would. So it's like
Yeah.
we're like your FedEx, UPS store, and your Staples all wrapped into one, and the
Yeah.
Starbucks. You know,
Yeah. Just like it's like Kinko's and Starbucks had a baby, and we called it Mailbox Cafe. Yeah.
Eh,
And we cut keys.
and we cut keys. You know,
And we cut keys.
if you locked out your house, we got you. You know,
That's right. That's right. Or if you lock yourself in your car on the way into the store and you just
it's
happen to have a spare key on, you're just like, hey, we can help you out.
yeah, like, we
That's
got you.
cool. Now, your key cutter machine, is that an actual machine or is it like you still do it the old-fashioned way?
It's an actual machine, but there's still some manual labor into it. I still have to set it up, guide it, and everything. So
Right,
make sure I have
right.
the right key. No, we're not just popping. It's not one of those machines you'll see in a Home Depot or anything.
That's
You'll see me
cool.
right there cutting, sanding it down.
So for sure. Uh,
Mhm.
all right. I don't know what my headset's doing here, but it's acting dumb.
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Right, yeah, I don't know, it's flaking out on me for some reason. But either way, so again, we're talking with Khalif Kelly from Mailbox Cafe. Check out the information on the franchise information website, mailboxcafefranchise.com. And before we talk about our sponsor for Franchise Flashlight podcast series, let me tell you why franchising is such a phenomenal way to grow your business and why it's going to be such a blessing for Mailbox Cafe, because when you franchise your business model, you're just like Khalif and I were talking about, you're not having to open a new location, you're not having to scope it out, get all the leasing done, the all the power, everything, all the fees and all that stuff done. You're not have to worry about managing it from day to day. You're not worried about having to hire the employees. What you are doing is you are allowing another motivated entrepreneur who sees your business model, loves it, and wants to invest their own money and do all of the oversight. And the only thing that the benefits for you as the franchisor, just like Mailbox Cafe, is they're going to be paying you a monthly royalty of 6%. You're growing your brand. You're not sharing your equity, but now you're growing your brand, but you're doing it in the wisest possible way.
Hmm.
And the number one choice in America to create a franchise out of your business model is our sponsor, Franchise Marketing Systems. They're based out of Alpharetta, Georgia, but they have headquarters in the U.S. and they also in Canada. So they're your number one choice for USA and Canada. And the reason they're the number one choice is because they are a company of integrity. They're a company of diligence. They are a company that has helped franchise over 700 brands, and they do so much more for you than just create your FDD, which is your franchise disclosure document. They will help you file your federal trademark. Excuse me. They will create your franchise information website. They'll create a very professional 8-page sales brochure for you, an operations manual that is so professional it will literally blow you away. And every step of the way, they will communicate with you exactly what's going on very diligently. They'll answer every question you have. And then once they're done getting, and they also create a marketing plan for you, a business plan. But once they're done with all that, then they're going to assign you a brand ambassador to help promote and sell your franchises. And if all that wasn't enough, they're going to do it for about the same price as any other franchise attorney or creation company would do for you, but they break their fee up for you into 6 to 8 monthly installments so that you don't go broke while you're in the process of creating a franchise out of your business model. And every penny of that is 100% tax deductible. So it really is an awesome concept. To me, franchising is the best way to grow your business in today's economy, with inflation being what it is, and without having the stress of personally managing multiple locations. And again, just as I had mentioned with Khalif, that's exactly what Sheldon, his dad, had said. He thought it was much less expensive to create the franchise than it was to go open a second location.
hmm
And I'm
hmm
sure you guys talked about it a lot, right?
Yes, we have, because we've looked at different options when we were still, I think, before we even hit our 10-year mark. We were thinking about opening a second location in different areas of Savannah. But even when we started looking at it, they were sniped out or snuffed out by UPS. So more UPS stores were brought up. So
Right,
they kind of just beat us to the punch. But, of course, then we're going to figure out now, me and him, we would have to be split. So he would be running one side, while we'll be running one store, while I'll be running the other.
right.
And so it'll just make it a lot harder, and then possibly lead into a, uh, a faster burnout,
Yep,
because as all entrepreneurs know, it ain't always easy. It's not
that's
a
right.
you can't just clock in, clock out. It's a nice 25/8. So
Well, and the other thing that I love about it too is your store hours, they're more normal than most businesses in this market. Because if your dad was telling me that your current hours are 9 to 6, Monday through
mhm.
Friday, but he's thinking about going back to like 7:30 to 6 because so many people are up early and getting that morning coffee before 9. And then on
Yes,
Saturday, your hours are what?
10 to 2.
10 to
But we
2.
also been talking about opening up early on Saturdays as well
Right,
for the cafe, because we're looking to bring in more revenue, since of course everyone's normally at work by the time we're open at 9. So
right.
to drive more of the cafe numbers up, we're thinking about to open up more. I'm just not a morning person, but he's trying to
And
make me bite that bullet.
yeah, and the beautiful thing is though, you closed on Sundays
hmm
and that's awesome. So especially like, if you're an entrepreneur like Khalif was saying, you don't want to get that burnout. This is a very profitable, and I want to say simple, because it's a collection of different operations, which once you learn them, it's like riding a bicycle. But you've got that Sunday day off just to recoup, recharge, spend time with your family,
hmm
and you guys will allow them to own multiple franchise units, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. That's great. That's great.
Mhm.
And it's such a great name too, Mailbox Cafe. I mean, I think that's awesome because it explains exactly what the business does in such a concise manner. Now, I got a quick question. What kind of coffee do you serve?
So currently, if you don't mind, hold up 1 second.
Sure.
We currently have a roaster, a local roaster here in Savannah, by the name of Savannah Coffee Roaster. So currently, what we have is for my espresso beans, I use a dark roast,
Right.
because a lot of people around here, we cater to a lot of our to a lot of SCAD students here in Savannah.
Right.
So this dark roast is called a Swamp Fox, which
That's
is
cool.
really good. It is, if I'm correct, I believe it is a Colombian, if I'm correct. And then for our drip, I use a medium roast, whole bean, and that one is called Captain's Choice, and this one is, if I'm correct, Guatemalan.
Nice. Very
Mm.
cool. So your franchisees, how will you guys help them to secure a coffee supplier?
Well, that one is mostly, if that's the case, what I would do is I would look inward if there is no local coffee supplier in their area. I do know that the company that we have our beans roasted from, they
Right.
do ship as well because they actually come to our store to drop off their shipments that they're shipping to other companies that use them.
That's
So,
cool. That's cool.
so
Yeah.
literally, literally our hub is literally like every business here or business in Savannah. We kind of all revolve off of each other. I've been told over the years that one of my customers, who's literally just an artist here in Savannah, just came and told me, I'm just talking about like, man, this just has been a tough day. Just so much things been going on, a lot of work. And he's like, well, you do know that like 80% of downtown Savannah businesses run on your store, right? I'm just like, don't tell me that. That's too much. That's a lot of pressure.
That's right. That's right.
That's a
It's like
lot of pressure.
yeah, that's right. It's like I wasn't stressed out till you gave me that number, buddy. Thank you. So give me an idea, Khalif, of what
Mhm.
percentage each sector brings in. So between the mailboxes and every other thing, it would be, of course, one sector, and then the cafe would be one sector. Give me an idea what percentage the revenue comes in from on your business. Just a
If I had to do,
ballpark.
yeah, ballpark, I would say I like to bring off you got the shipping side, which includes the mailboxes. So
Right.
that shipping side would bring in about 60% of the revenue, while
Okay.
I would say our printing brings in about um 25, while the cafe brings in the other 15%.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's really
And
awesome.
and we're trying to just increase the numbers of the cafe because currently it's just heavily based on the students. So that's what we're thinking about trying to get more back into those earlier hours. So we have more of the community base.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's talk about the website aspect of the business. Somebody comes aboard as a franchisee, again, let's say Cleveland, Tennessee.
Mhm.
Obviously, they'll be added to the main website as a location. What services are provided through the website that they will also benefit from?
What's it provide through the website? Um, Through the franchisee. So the services they would I'm sorry, can you ask that? Can you repeat that question? I want to make sure I'm understanding it correctly.
Right. So, for example, what do people that use your service, what services or have you do they order through the website?
Oh, gotcha. So yes, no, currently we now just implemented our online service for printing. So now you can submit your orders online and we can just print them on demand.
That's
So you
awesome.
don't have to wait for a line or anything of that nature. And honestly, that also helps us because we do have a lot of people send in emails and we can get them done, but they don't show up for like 2, 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like sitting here wondering where they are or whether or not we just did this job for nothing. So it has helped us both and help us to kind of keep those print orders more down and keep them more consistent. Also, another thing we've finally implemented is now people can renew their mailboxes online.
That's cool.
So that honestly it's good for the customers, yes, but I feel like it's definitely made a lot more pressure off of us as the
Yes.
workers because now we don't have to keep up with so much because the amount of times before we were able to implement it, we either had to come in or take the card over the phone. And a lot of people were trying to call me to update to renew their mailbox, but
Right.
I could have a line in front of me. It's like I cannot do this right now. Let me call you back.
I'm juggling swords right now. They're on
Yes.
fire.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was like, someone wants a key, someone wants a smoothie. I need to do a notary over here.
That is funny. That is
So
funny. And then your dad and I talked about this, but how many average employees does it take to run the store?
I would say now we need three is a comfort. So it's almost like if someone needs someone in the cafe, if someone needs someone in the shipping, and someone needs someone in the printing, you have your three. Um, Three is your minimum. Two is the bare minimum.
Right.
Three is a soft spot. Four would be your three people running the show, running the front office, and then you can have one person in the back just kind of making sure inventory is in stock, um, counting the numbers and everything. So a
Sorting
nice hat.
mail,
Yeah, sorting mail,
juggling swords.
just
Yeah.
like
The
every
side.
all of it.
That's
So
great. That's great.
Hmm.
Now, I want to say this for those of you that are familiar with the UPS stores and those types of stores, many of those stores, they have a way for you to go in after hours and check your mail. Mailbox Cafe does not have that set up. So that's another stress reliever for you as a franchise unit owner because you don't have to worry about, hey, how am I going to grant this 24/7 access? And let's talk about that was one thing I definitely want to cover. What is
Hmm.
the recommended size for a location square footage?
The square footage is 1,200. One quick question, 1 second. Uh, Typical is 18. Sorry, not 12, but 1,800.
1800, right? Yeah, I think that's
1,800 to
what your dad had
2,000.
mentioned. Correct,
Mm-hmm.
correct. So,
In the background.
and then obviously you definitely want a good visibility location as far as traffic goes.
Hmm.
That's kind of common sense. But what's great about this is that you don't have fryers, you don't have all that heavy duty safety stuff where you have to have all those stringent requirements as far as fire codes and stuff go. So that also makes it more. It makes the employee age range much more flexible, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. I've had, well, of course, me, even though I was family, I started off at the age of uh, 15, 16, starting off. So, I've also had a 14-year-old here working with us at one time, just to get him under. And I've also, over the years, we've worked with underage kids who are like 10, 12, who are looking for mentorships and everything. So they came in after house, help us clean up. I showed them ropes of different things of that nature. So is with this store, what my dad started and what I feel like I have molded it to what it to become is more truly that community hub where everyone can feel welcome. Just because you're going into a business, just because you're going to ship something, print something that's always been more of a hassle, doesn't make any sense. I try to make it as inviting and as fun because who says, shipping can't be fun? Who says getting a cup of coffee can't be fun?
Sure. Yeah,
So I try to make it
absolutely.
open as I can.
So yeah, let's take a virtual trip into the Mailbox Cafe. So I'm coming in the cafe
Hmm.
and like, all right, I just moved to town. I need a mailbox. And while I'm here, I've got some important documents I need to get faxed. I need to get this printed. I do need a new key made for my house. I'd like a mocha frap and a croissant. And that's a pretty complete visit, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The point is, my manager in here is cracking up because it's like that sounds like a typical day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yes, actually, we've had some couple people who are moving into town already and who are new. So, segment mailbox, yes, we can get that done. If it's personal or business, a personal mailbox, we can get it set up in less than about 15 minutes. Business, about 20 minutes, depending on just how much information you have or the
Right.
type of business it is. Your mocha frap, I'll have one of my employees do that while I'm setting up your mailbox. If you want a croissant, do you want that warmed up? Do you want some chocolate drizzle on that? We're not Burger
That's
King,
right.
but we want you to have it your way. Um,
That's awesome. Um,
if you need
now,
something notarized, the printing, yes, here's our email.
that's right. That's right. That's the only thing I think I forgot was the notary for sure.
Hmm.
So one last question, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So,
Sure.
and I don't know, maybe other stores do this because DoorDash delivers everything now.
Hmm.
Does DoorDash deliver from your store anything?
Um, Door, we haven't signed up where people can order DoorDash from our store, like people can DoorDash one of our items.
Right.
But technically, throughout the years, when like people are coming in for like conferences and they have like stuff that needs to be printed, but they can't make it down here. They want to know if we will deliver. Sadly, we don't have a delivery service yet. It's in
Right.
the works, but we just don't have it yet.
Well,
Uh,
that's what I was thinking. DoorDash would be perfect because their fee is not too high. But man, just think if somebody could call the store, order a batch of documents or whatever, maybe order them online and say,
mhm.
look, I don't have time to come get this. I'm a sole proprietor, but I'd love to be able to DoorDash this to my office. I mean, that'd be awesome.
That would be us. Like people have done the way we've done it is like either people have we Ubered things, like people request an Uber and then
Right.
everything to it, and we've gone around that way. Um, I know I have for certain customers who've been here for us long term that they need something that day. I know I've taken a personal time out of my time to deliver after hours or when I had a moment of freedom, which they were
Right.
okay with and whatnot. So I would leave something like that up to the new franchise owners.
Sure.
My
Sure.
biggest thing is we're always been about customer service. And as you see, if you ever look at our Google, you'll see we have a 4.9 star
That's awesome.
rating,
That's
and
awesome.
they're still growing.
Yeah. And
So
they're on
I,
Facebook too, guys. You can follow them on Facebook, Mailbox Cafe. And I don't know if are you on LinkedIn as well? You're on Instagram.
we
Instagram.
are on Instagram and Facebook. Our Instagram's a little more lively than our Facebook and
Right.
LinkedIn. That would be a question for my father. Mhm.
Well, it would be a good thing for you because LinkedIn
Mhm.
is like Facebook, but it's like 100% professional people. And
Yeah.
90% of those people, they have this type of job that would require your services.
Mhm.
And most have good paying jobs. So I think it would definitely be great exposure. And it's free. I mean, you
Mhm.
can't beat free when it comes to promoting your business, right?
True. That's
Um,
true.
but man, this has been a fun podcast. And again, let me just reiterate. I know I've said this about three times already, but I want you, if you're listening to this podcast, to understand just what an awesome opportunity this is because this combines what most every business needs, not just standard business, but home-based business entrepreneurs too, with that wonderful coffee, cafe, croissant, muffin type setup where you've got that anchor income from almost, over 600 mailboxes, which is going to really come just fund your whole operation so that everything else is what we call gravy in the South.
Hmm.
And it's a very
Great. Yep.
it's a very professionally setup, and they've put 14 years of blood, sweat, and tears into developing this into an awesome, what will be an awesome franchise growth. And if you look at their website, like I said, mailbox-cafe.com, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And just, I mean, literally, I mean, if I'm just guessing off the top of my head, you literally have about 15 to 20 different revenue streams from all the different things that they can do at your store, from,
Yes.
the key cutting, the faxing, the printing, the mailing, the shipping, the cafe. I mean, it's just an awesome concept.
Yes, sir. I mean, we got me and my manager. We got about four large size frames that we have to pack and ship over to. I think we're going to Chicago with these, and we
Wow,
just we just got done like this past Friday. We just got done shipping out 15 different art pieces in wide different ranges and sizes.
that's
They
awesome.
were all supposed to go to Canada.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Right. And we haven't even touched a little bit of freight yet.
Yeah, that's great. All right. So again, check out their franchise information website. It's mailboxcafefranchise.com. And again, just to give you the quick numbers, the franchise fee, 35,000. The all-in investment is under 170,000. The monthly royalty is 6%. And if you want more information, you can submit the contact form on the franchise information website. And did you want to give them a phone number, Khalif, where they could reach out to you directly, or you want them to stick to the franchise site?
Stick to the franchise site currently because I'm normally my head is normally in the store, so I have people calling me for all types of things. So
I hear you.
if they for right now at the current moment until our boots are on the ground and you got me flying out, just contact the franchise or you can reach out to my father who have more freedom to give you more of the information you're looking for.
That's great. That's great. And you can contact me directly. Todd
Mhm.
Abraham, my phone number, 423-405-4040. And also, we talked about franchise marketing systems. But again, if you are a business owner and you want to create a professional franchise model out of your business with the number one choice in America and Canada, franchise marketing system, call me directly, Todd Abraham, 423 888-405-4040. You can also text me on that number as well. Khalif, any closing remarks before we wrap it up?
Uh, Closing remarks. I guess I will say one thing that I normally tell all my customers who actually signs up and get a mailbox with us. Hey, welcome to Mailbox Cafe.
Very well said, my friend. All right, you listen to the Franchise Flashlight podcast series on franchiseradio.net. It is an original franchiseradio.net program. My name is Todd Abraham, and if you have a franchise that you're looking to promote, we've got some available excellent advertising space for you, and we also could potentially get you on this show to talk about your franchise. Until we meet again, friends, thank you and God bless.
Good night.